Have you ever been there? In a conversation, maybe it's just a quick chat, maybe it's a really important meeting, and you know exactly what you want to say. But that perfect phrase, the precise words, they're just not quite there. It's this feeling, right? Wanting to communicate really clearly, confidently, especially when you're dealing with, daily stuff or work demands. You need the words that carry the right meaning, the right nuance. Respect, even. Well, today we're going to do a deep dive. We're aiming to sharpen those linguistic tools for you. This session, it's all about getting a handle on some super common English phrases, the ones that are just essential, really, for everyday talk and professional situations. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe. Your way to get really well informed on these crucial bits of language, that aha moment for fluency. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're picking out a few key phrases. We'll unpack what they mean, look at real situations where you'd use them, and really clarify the sort of subtle differences. Why? Well, the goal is to help you build that confidence, that fluency. Turn those moments where you hesitate into moments where you really connect.
It's actually fascinating, isn't it? How phrases that seem so simple on the surface can unlock such precise communication. And in so many different contexts, these aren't just words you memorize. They're more like
Building blocks.
Yeah, building blocks for effective interaction. They let you handle complex ideas, sometimes even tricky situations with a certain grace and clarity. Getting the application right is, well, it's key to moving through life professionally and personally much more smoothly and with more impact, I think.
Couldn't agree more. And thinking about clarity, especially when it comes to time, progress, this trio always pops up. We're going to unpack ahead of schedule, on schedule, and behind schedule. These aren't just descriptions. They're like little status reports that really shape how we talk about time,
It's exactly right. When we say schedule here, what we mean is basically a plan, a roadmap maybe. It details when things are supposed to happen, tasks, events, whatever. So these three phrases ahead, on, behind, they tell you where you are compared to that plan. Are you faster? Right on track? A bit slower? Their power is really in how concise and universally understood they are. Quick, clear updates for any situation with a plan or a deadline.
Okay, let's start with the one everyone loves to hear, right? Ahead of schedule. It just sounds good. It literally means you're moving faster, finishing things sooner than you originally planned. Like, imagine finishing that big report a whole day early, or a construction project wrapping up a phase weeks ahead. It just screams efficiency.
Well, absolutely. Ahead of schedule is more than just good news, though. It's a powerful signal. It's not just about efficiency now. It kind of builds this anticipatory trust. That's maybe a weird way to put it. But it suggests you've got things so well under control. You have a buffer. Makes you seem more reliable for whatever comes next. It's like psychological capital. Opens doors, maybe for an early launch, or just less stress down the line. Let's think about some different scenarios. A business project, for example. You might hear the development team is ahead of schedule on the new software release. Okay, great. Which means we might be able to launch it a week early. No, launching early isn't just about speed. It could mean grabbing a market advantage, right? Or maybe it gives you extra time for final checks, leading to a better product. It says a lot about solid planning and execution. Or think personally, the relief of saying, I managed to pack my entire suitcase for my trip ahead of schedule, so now I have free time tonight. Seems small maybe, but it makes the whole travel experience calmer, doesn't it? Frees up headspace, cuts down on that last-minute panic. Shows good personal time management. And then on, like big projects. The impact is huge. Something like, despite initial challenges, the construction of the new community center is significantly ahead of schedule. That's massive for public works. It points to great project management, using resources well, maybe overcoming problems quickly. For the community, they get their center earlier. That's a real tangible benefit, boosts morale. So you raised an interesting point earlier implicitly. How does being able to say you're ahead of schedule actually affect things like team morale or client trust?
That is a great question. Team morale, I can totally see that. It's a win, right? Shared accomplishment. Feels good. But clients, does it sometimes set them up with unrealistic expectations like, well, you did it early last time?
That's sharp. Yeah, there's definitely a psychological nuance there. The immediate trust boost is real. Clients see you're reliable, proactive. But you're right, it does subtly raise the bar for next time. It's a risk, I suppose. But usually I think the benefits win out. For the team, it can create this positive cycle. Success breeds success. For clients, it builds massive confidence, shows you can deliver more than promised. And that perception of having a buffer often makes you seem more adaptable, reliable long-term.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That confidence boost is huge. Managing expectations is always key, I guess. But
Okay,
what about just keeping things on track? We talk about ahead, but on schedule. It's easy to overlook, maybe. Seems less exciting. But you hinted at this. In many cases, isn't that the real gold standard? Progressing exactly as planned, hitting those milestones. In a world that feels chaotic sometimes, on schedule is like this beeping of reliability, predictability.
Precisely. You've nailed it. Ahead of schedule gets the applause, maybe. But on schedule, that often represents the deep value of consistency, predictability, meeting your commitments. Think of it like a perfectly tuned engine just humming along, no drama, just steady, reliable progress. It's the unsung hero, really. Keeps things running smoothly. You only notice it when it's not happening, right? It suggests everything's aligned. Planning, execution, minimal disruption, smooth sailing for everyone involved. Let's look at where on schedule is absolutely critical. Public transport, classic example. Despite heavy fog, the morning train arrived precisely on schedule, as commuters rely on. Here, on schedule is everything. People plan their whole day around that train. Work, appointments, arriving on time, especially in bad weather. That shows robustness. Commitment. A delay creates ripples of frustration for thousands. Or think about meetings, professionally. We're moving through the meeting agenda right on schedule, ensuring we cover all key points within our allocated time. That shows good facilitation. Respect for everyone's time, discussions stay focused, decisions get made.
People move on to the next thing. It's a hallmark of productive, disciplined work, makes everyone's day better, and routine operations, like factory maintenance. The factory's annual equipment maintenance was complete exactly on schedule, minimizing any impact on production. On schedule here means avoiding costly downtime. In manufacturing, every minute counts. Sticking to the plan prevents bottlenecks, keeps output consistent. It's operational excellence. So
Yeah.
just being on schedule. What's the core message it sends?
Reliability, I think. Professionalism, that sense that things are under control. Moving according to a solid plan, like you said, no surprises. And sometimes that's exactly what you need.
Exactly. Shows dependability, consistent delivery, builds that quiet trust over time. It signals that careful balance of planning and doing. And what's really fascinating, as you said, is how it's often this silent achievement. Proof of solid work, even if it doesn't get a big celebration like finishing early.
The unsung hero of consistency. I like that. Okay, so then there's the flip side, the one we hope to avoid, but, well, life happens. Behind schedule. We need to understand this one, too, and use it correctly. It means you're moving slower than planned. There's a delay. And it usually means you need to communicate honestly, maybe figure out a fix.
Indeed. Behind schedule is, well, it's the reality check sometimes, isn't it? Even with the best plans. It signals that progress has slipped. A milestone is delayed. A deadline might be missed. The causes could be anything, really. Unforeseen problems, tech glitches, supply issues, not enough resources, staff, budget, and the implications. They can be serious. Missed deadlines might mean financial penalties, damage to reputation. You might need to adjust plans, maybe work overtime to catch up. Let's look at some examples. Delivery and logistics. You get that notification? Unfortunately, the package delivery is now behind schedule due to an unexpected logistical error at the distribution center. Okay, that directly affects you, the customer. You're waiting for something. But clear communication, even bad news, lets you adjust. Maybe make other plans. It can actually lessen the frustration, strange as that sounds, or academically, or personally. You might have to admit, I'm a bit behind schedule on my research paper because I've been juggling a heavier workload than anticipated this week. So relatable, right? For students, for anyone balancing things, being behind causes stress.
Might mean rushing, lower quality. Acknowledging it lets you maybe ask for an extension, reshuffle priorities, manage the fallout, or setting up a big event, like a charity gala. The setup for the annual charity gala is running behind schedule, so we'll need extra volunteers to catch up. This delay could risk the whole event, so communicating it clearly, early, lets organizers rally help. Reassign tasks, maybe adjust the schedule slightly. Avoid disaster. So when things do fall behind schedule, how does being transparent about it actually help, even though it's bad news?
It seems crucial for managing expectations. That's huge. People know what's happening. It also opens the door for, like, Plan B contingency planning, and it probably reduces frustration, right?
Yes.
Because you're not hiding it, you're tackling the problem. It shows you're being proactive about the issue.
Precisely. And looking at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the way you communicate being behind schedule matters enormously for relationships, for trust, client trust, team trust. Even with bad news, honesty shows accountability,
Yeah.
shows you're willing to face challenges. And if you follow it up with, here's how we're going to fix it, that can actually strengthen trust. Shows reliability, even when things go wrong.
Okay, so that trio ahead of on behind schedule gives you this really precise toolkit for talking about progress. They're not just words, they're tools for managing expectations, signaling where things stand. Really key for clear communication and trust. All right, let's shift gears slightly. Let's unpack another super useful phrase, one that helps us navigate busy days. Politely say no sometimes. Tied up. It's pretty universally understood, right? And it feels polite. A good way to say you're unavailable, you're preoccupied, perfect for setting a boundary without sounding, I don't know, abrupt or unhelpful.
Yeah, the power of tied up isn't just that it means busy, it's the implication. Like you're literally, metaphorically, bound by a commitment. It suggests something genuinely important has your full attention right now. Makes it sound stronger, more professional than just a vague, oh, I'm busy. The core meaning is really about being so occupied, so engrossed, that you just can't attend to anything else at that moment. It signals a current, often critical commitment.
Exactly. Like you hear, sorry, I'm tied up with another call right now. Can I call you back in 10 minutes? Instantly clear. Unavoidable situation. But here's when I can talk.
It absolutely does that. Tied up is polite, yes, but also quite firm. It implies a significant current commitment. It makes immediate availability impossible. Suggests a higher degree of preoccupation than just busy. Often implies the task is critical or can't be interrupted, like you're literally caught in the knot of commitments temporarily. Think about different situations. Business meetings, for instance. I'm tied up in a crucial board meeting until after lunch, so I won't be able to review that document until this afternoon. Clear priority. Sets a realistic expectation for when you can help. Shows your time is taken by something important, justifies being unavailable without oversharing. Or personal commitments. Also useful there. She's tied up with her volunteer work at the animal shelter every Tuesday evening, so that's generally not a good time for her to meet. Helps friends, family understand and respect boundaries. Communicates a standing commitment you prioritize. It's a gentle but firm no to an immediate request. And when unexpected things pop up, he got tied up with an urgent client request at the last minute, which is why he missed the team huddle. Explains an unforeseen, unavoidable conflict. Gives a justifiable reason for missing something. Signals priority shifted due to an external critical demand, not just poor planning. So we often choose tied up instead of just, I'm busy. Why is that distinction important? Especially professionally, maybe?
That's a good point. I'm busy can sometimes sound a bit dismissive, vague, like maybe you just don't want to talk. But I'm tied up feels more specific. It implies a legitimate reason, often something time-sensitive that you can't avoid. Like you would help if you could, but you genuinely can't right now.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Tied up implies that binding commitment. A task that needs your full, immediate attention. You can't easily step away. It's more specific, less generic. Signals the current thing isn't just taking your time. It's actively preventing you from doing anything else. And professionally, that level of specificity, even without detail, is often appreciated. Shows a real constraint, not just general unavailability. Respects the other person.
That distinction really matters for managing schedules well. It highlights how useful it is for handling interruptions gracefully, setting boundaries without being rude. It's about keeping goodwill while protecting your focus.
Absolutely. And a good tip. Always try to combine tied up with an offer of an alternative time or a clear timeline for when you will be free. Like, I'm tied up until 3 p.m., but I'm free after that. Shows you're unavailable now, but still willing to connect soon. The bigger picture, using phrases like tied up effectively is just key to managing your time well, while keeping relationships strong. Protect your focus without alienating people. Fosters mutual respect for schedules.
Okay, so if you know how to say you're unavailable, what about setting things up, planning that next meeting or coffee or even a difficult conversation? This brings us right to our next phrase. When is a good time? It's like the standard, polite way to start scheduling something. Shows right away you're considering the other person's schedule. Puts the ball in their court.
Yeah, what's really striking about when is a good time is how it immediately signals respect, deep respect for their time, and it encourages collaboration from the get-go. Its purpose is simply to ask respectfully about their best availability, instead of suggesting a time that might clash, forcing that back-and-forth email chain we all hate. You're saying, your schedule matters. Let's find a time that genuinely works for you. Sets a positive, considerate tone right away. Makes scheduling smoother.
It feels so much more inviting than just, you free Tuesday at 3, doesn't it? You might ask, I need to call you about this project. When is a good time? Just opens the door more gently, takes the pressure off.
Precisely. It's inherently polite, incredibly flexible. Puts the ball in their court, empowers them to offer times that actually work for them, minimizes that frustrating scheduling dance, conveys you value their convenience, respect their existing commitments. That's huge for rapport. Let's think about different situations again. a formal business meeting request. I'd like to discuss the new proposal details. When is a good time for us to meet next week to go over it? That's just professional standard. It's efficient because they'll likely reply with options. Moves things forward without endless emails. Shows you get how busy corporate life is. Or just catching up with a friend. Social planning. I wanted to hear all about your trip. When is a good time for us to grab coffee and chat? Keeps it friendly, relaxed, but still direct about wanting to meet. Lets them fit you in comfortably, not feeling pressured. It's about maintaining connections respectfully, on their terms, or even offering help or following up. I can definitely help you with that report. When is the good time for me to stop by your desk, or should I just email you? You're not just offering help, you're offering it on their terms. Shows proactive service, willingness to adapt to their workflow. That's really valued. It's so effective because it avoids demands, fosters cooperation, often leads to faster, better scheduling. But what about follow-ups? After you ask when is a good time, see what are good next steps, especially if you do want to suggest some specific times.
Good tactical point. You set them up to give a general window, then you can help narrow it down.
Yeah, I think once they say something like afternoons are usually okay, you could follow up with, great, would Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning work better? Or maybe, okay, I could do 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. tomorrow or anytime Friday. Do any of those slots work for you? Gives concrete options, but still within their preference.
Exactly. That keeps it efficient, but still considerate. Offer specific slots after they give a general idea. Helps them choose without being overwhelmed. Ultimately, mastering these polite scheduling phrases like, when is a good time, really boosts how professional you seem, makes you easier to work with, builds better relationships. It starts a dialogue, doesn't impose. Crucial for goodwill and efficiency, professionally and personally.
Okay, let's move on to held up. This one. It often feels like it comes with a built-in explanation, right?
Yeah.
Tells you why you or something else got delayed. Unlike behind schedule, which is more what the status, held up often implies some external thing got in the way. Gives that crucial context. Yeah, what's really distinctive about held up is exactly that it often provides the reason for the delay. Context. Its core meaning is being delayed, prevented from moving forward, usually because of some external force, something unforeseen, often outside your direct control. That's the key difference from behind schedule, which just states the status. Held up points to the cause, the external thing that caused the holdup.
We've all used it, right? Sorry, I'm late. I got held up in traffic. It's the classic. So common, so understood. We all know that feeling of being physically stuck, unable to proceed.
It's exactly. Held up works so well as an explanation or apology for being late or slow, because it externalizes the cause. It shifts the implied blame away from you towards some outside circumstance, often unavoidable. Really helps manage expectations, maintain professionalism. Let's look at examples again. Traffic, travel obstacles, the classic. I apologize for the delay, but it was unexpectedly held up by a major accident on the highway. Clear, valid reason, beyond your control. Signals you weren't just disorganized but hit an unforeseen roadblock can really reduce frustration on the other end. Or in a work setting, unexpected tasks, meetings pulling someone away. The CEO got held up in an urgent, unscheduled call, so the executive meeting will have to start 15 minutes late. Communicates a higher priority intervened. Something non-negotiable, implies the person would have been on time otherwise. Universally understood reason for delay in corporate life. Lets others adjust, or maybe process or resource issues. Our loan application was held up for a few days because there was some missing documentation that needed to be provided. Here, held up, points to a bottleneck, maybe administrative needs, missing info. Clarifies the delay wasn't a system fault, but a necessary step or missing piece. Points towards resolution. So held up is great for giving a concise, understandable reason without maybe oversharing details. But when is it more appropriate, more effective than just saying, I'm behind schedule, or simply, I'm late?
That's a key distinction. Held up really feels like something external stopped you right then, physically or circumstantially. Blocked your progress at that moment. Late is just fact. Behind schedule could imply a bigger ongoing issue, maybe even poor planning. Held up feels more sudden, maybe more forgivable.
You've absolutely got it. Held up works best when the delay is sudden, unexpected, caused by an external event that temporarily blocked progress. Gives that immediate, direct explanation for a sudden status change. Doesn't imply a broader, ongoing problem. Lets you explain a delay, minimizing personal fault while still being transparent. Softens the impact. Fosters understanding. Big picture. Using held up well shows transparent communication about unexpected challenges. Can actually build trust even when things go wrong. Shows accountability, respect for others' time, even when stuff happens.
Okay, final phrase for today. Move something out of the way. This one's interesting because it's so dual. literal and figurative. Applies to actual physical objects, sure, but also to metaphorical obstacles, challenges, tasks. Speaks directly to overcoming blocks, tangible or abstract. Its versatility is really cool.
It really is versatile, isn't it? From tidying a room to managing a huge project, that's what's fascinating. The core meaning is twofold. Literally, shift an object blocking access or progress, metaphorically.
Yeah.
Deal with an impediment, a minor task maybe, to clear the path for something more important. Fundamentally, it's about creating space, physical, mental, logistical, for what really needs attention.
Let's start literal, the everyday stuff. You're trying to get to the fridge, someone's chair is blocking it, you just say, could you please move your chair out of the way? Simple, direct, solves the physical problem instantly.
Exactly. Physically, it's about practical problem solving, immediate impact. Think about access or passage. Please move your bicycle out of the way so the delivery truck can pass. Ensure smooth logistics, prevents problems. Clear direction for action. Unblock the path. Or creating space. We need to move this old furniture out of the way to make room for the new desks. Preparing an environment for a new purpose. A necessary first step for a bigger goal. Clearing the deck. And really importantly, safety. Clearing hazards. Quickly, move that broken glass out of the way before someone gets hurt. An urgent command. Prevent immediate harm. Ensure well-being. In all these literal cases is straightforward action. Remove a physical block.
Okay, so that's the physical side. But how does this idea, moving something out of the way, work when we're not talking about objects, in discussions, projects, even just in our own heads?
Yeah.
Where does the metaphor take us? This is where it gets really powerful, I think.
This is absolutely where it shines. Extends to removing conceptual barriers. Tackling minor issues first. Clearing prerequisites so you can focus on the main goal. It's about strategic thinking, efficiency, but in abstract areas, things that aren't physical but still block you. Project management, for instance. Talking about tasks. Let's move this routine admin task out of the way first thing, then we can focus on the core development work. Classic prioritizing. Batching small stuff. By moving it out of the way, you create clear time for complex, high-value work. Boosts productivity, focus. Eliminates distractions. Enables deep work. Or in discussions, problem solving, facing issues. Before we finalize the strategy, we need to move the outstanding budget concerns out of the way. They're blocking progress. The budget concerns are metaphorical obstacles, impeding decisions. Addressing them directly, resolving them, lets the team move forward on the main goal, removes the roadblock, enables focus, and maybe most profoundly, personal growth, mindset, internal barriers. Someone might realize, to reach my goals, I first need to move my self-doubt and fear of failure out of the way. Overcoming psychological blocks, self-doubt, fear, they paralyze progress. Acknowledging them, actively working to move them out of the way. Crucial for personal development. Allows you to pursue things with more confidence. Using move something out of the way metaphorically is so powerful. But how does actually identifying what needs to be moved? How does that help with clear thinking, maybe delegation, reaching goals?
That's a fantastic point. It's not just a phrase. It's like a mental framework for getting things done, isn't it? It forces you to prioritize. Once you know what needs moving, you can plan, allocate resources, maybe delegate that smaller task to someone else, develop a specific solution, brings this laser focus to the real objectives, clears the clutter.
Exactly. It streamlines processes, helps overcome obstacles, tangible and intangible. Makes it a key phrase for productivity, for unblocked progress. Just actively thinking, okay, what do I need to move out of the way here? That can be a powerful mental tool for achieving clarity, efficiency in everything you do. Encourages that proactive, solution-focused approach, turns roadblocks into, well, maybe just things you need to shift aside to keep going.
Wow. So after that deep dive, we've looked at 5 phrases that seem simple, right? Ahead of on behind schedule, tied up, when is a good time, held up, and move something out of the way. But hopefully, you can see now how much weight they carry, the nuance, the strategic value, and how getting comfortable with them can really make your communication clearer, more confident, just more precise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These aren't just vocabulary items to tick off a list. They are essential tools for better, more effective communication. They empower you, really. Manage expectations gracefully, respect boundaries, start interactions considerately, navigate challenges clearly, proactively clear your path. By getting the hang of their specific uses, you really do get a shortcut to sounding more natural, being understood better, navigating all sorts of situations in English with more ease, more impact. So here's something to think about as you go about your day. How many little frustrations, misunderstandings, delays could maybe be avoided, or at least managed better, just by consciously choosing and using the right clear phrase at exactly the right moment? We'd really encourage you, listen for these phrases around you and maybe try subtly to practice using them yourself. You might be surprised at the difference it makes in your clarity, your confidence, and just how effectively you come across to others.